Our camera crew went out to ARP Wave headquarters to capture Mark's first treatment.
Mark, come on in, and let me have you lay down on your back, if you would.
Okay.
First thing that I'm going to do, because when you're laying on your back, that's when you feel the best, and there's no pressure there, right?
Correct.
The first thing I want to do is I want to test your nervous system to see if your nervous system is sending the right electrical signals to your muscles to where they act as shock absorbers.
Okay.
Every indication is they're not, but I don't know that until I do this test.
Okay.
So you've heard of like an EMG. You ever heard that terminology, electromyograph?
Is that for your heart? Or?
No. That's to determine internally, is the nervous system working internally efficiently?
Oh, okay.
What most people don't realize is that the muscles are the outward expression of the nervous system. So all I'm going to do is test your muscles to see if they're getting the right signal to work correctly. Okay? So put your arms down to your side. Just relax. This is not a strength test, so push your foot in like that. You push up, I'm going to push down. So you're resisting as I push down.
I'm going to push up.
Yep, good, right there. Relax, that's all I need to see. You push up, I'm going to push down. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with a slight arch in your back, but keep this nice and straight. You push up, I'm going to push down. Nothing. Relax. You push up, I'm going to push down. Nothing. Okay, now I need to find out, is that caused by an anatomical issue? So I know when you get into this position or sit and you get in a slumped position or an athletic position, you cannot absorb force. So all that force coming into your body is going where it's not supposed to go. Okay? So I know that for number one. But now I need to determine, is it caused by an anatomical deficiency to be able to absorb that force? So now I'm going to do the same test. Remember how strong you are. You just push up.
Am I going to lift up a little bit?
Not arched. Good. Now I'm going to hit the bottom of your heel. And now you push up. Good. Relax. I'm going to do the same thing over here. You push up, and I'm going to push down. Perfect. Okay, so we know it's not anatomical. Now, the second you arch your back like that. Not quite that much. You just arch your back like you're bench pressing. You push up, and there's nothing there. Nothing. Okay. So the first thing I have to do is I have to tell your muscles, which by the way are the main support muscles that you're dealing with, I have to tell those muscles that they're working correctly. So to do that, you've got shorts on, so all I'm going to have you do is stand up. And now what I'm going to do is, you ever have a computer that went blue screen on you?
Yeah.
Okay, and what'd you have to do? You have to bring it back to its original settings. What do you think your original settings were?
You mean like when I was in balance or at some point, or what do you mean?
The very first reflex pattern you ever learned is to crawl as a baby. That's the very first pattern.
Okay.
I'm going to bring you back to that pattern right now.
We're going way back.
We're going way back, dude, way back. And then you won't feel this at all. And then we'll test again and see if we see a noticeable difference. And all I'm doing basically is neurologically stimulating the muscle, so turn around. Now the primary muscle that I'm going to be working with is called the iliopsoas. And the origin of that muscle is right here. So I'm just going to stick that right there. The insertion of that muscle is way up inside the thigh. But what I'm doing is I'm bringing these pads across your body. So raise that up for me just a little bit. And we'll put that right about there. All right, good. Now that's one cable, and this is a second cable. And we came up with this protocol because we were dealing with patients that were all over the world, and they didn't have access to chiropractors or anybody that could do a physical adjustment to them, like a physical therapist or a chiropractor or an osteopath. So we had to come up with a way of being able to stimulate the muscle as though someone had been adjusting it, adjusting the extremity. And that's what this process does right here. And I think you'll see a difference in a second here. So there's problem number one is you're out of balance. You're not processing information the way you need to process information. Actually raise this up a little bit. Yep. And now let's have you lay down on your back. Okay. Perfect. Feet together, toes back like this. Now that way I know you're not going to be in a wrong position.
Okay.
Okay? And when I ask you to, I want you to just move your foot like this, like you're just like that, 5 times when I tell you to. Now also I need you to tell me when you first sense anything. Could be a hum, a buzz, a tingle, it could be anything.
You mean like that hum right there?
Yeah, kind of like that, but only feel it.
Okay.
And now we're going to turn the ARP on. And you tell me when you first feel anything.
Now.
Okay, good. Now what I want you to do is I want you to move your feet 5 times, just like that. Good. Good. And rest. And we'll wait 1 more minute here. Okay, 5 times. Good. And rest. Make sure they're together and make sure they're pulled back. There you go. And the reason for that is that right now, I'm telling your muscles that you're running at a very, very high velocity in perfect position. If your knees or feet are apart, then they're getting a wrong information. So in this position, I'm telling your muscles with this external brain over here that all these muscles are working correctly. Even though they're not, it's telling them that it is. What I'm doing basically is I'm raising with this protocol what's called your central integrated state. Okay, 5 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to test you again, and we're going to have you raise your leg with an arch in your back, and we'll see if we see any difference. Okay, arch your back. Not quite that much, but I think you're a tad bit stronger. Just arch your back just slightly.
Okay.
And you resist. See how strong you are? Where before I just easily pushed you down, now I can't easily push you down. So the muscles are now receptive to the information.
It actually, when you push down, it doesn't feel... When you push down before, it felt like I had 0 muscle, which I'm sure I don't over the years, right? It actually, when you do it, it feels like I'm... It actually feels like I've have some... I've been doing some sit-ups.
Let me give you an example. If you're a spark plug and the spark plug is gapped incorrectly, does it fire the gasoline?
No.
Your spark plugs are gapped incorrectly. That's why you're not firing those muscles. Right now, you're firing those muscles. So now that first step is done. Now we're going to go and find out exactly where the problem is coming from. We already know where it ended. It ended in your stomach. But let's find out where it's coming from. Okay? Now I'm going to turn this up where I can read your body. And you'll probably feel it coming in.
Do I keep my... I do now. Yep. Oh.
Scale of 1 to 10, what do you feel?
Probably 5 or 6. I'm sure it could be worse, but it was kind of startled me that it's right there.
When's the last time you felt your muscles contract? 18 years ago?
I guess I've never thought about it.
Your muscles. Did you see that muscle contraction you just had?
One,
yeah, that one right there.
Startled.
That's probably the first time you contracted that muscle for 18 years.
That's why I said 5 to 6. I'm sure it's worse, but it was the startling of...
Yeah. Just relax. Right now, you're doing the equivalent of 250 sit-ups a second. Breathe through your nose. Breathe through your nose. Now, as I move this over here, tell me if it increases. Obviously, it did. Would that increase?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me turn this down a little bit. I want to go over to here, and I want to see if this is an increase. That is a lot more. Okay, so we've identified that this muscle, which is called your iliopsoas, the one we worked on, isn't been working for quite some time. Now, I'm going to put this right here, because normally pressure over here doesn't bother you at all, right?
Correct.
Just here. Okay. Did the pressure with my hand on there bother you? No.
No.
Why? Because I was firing the muscles. Think of muscle as a shock absorber. These muscles couldn't absorb anything if your life depended on it. The second I put this current in there, they can start absorbing force. So consequently, pressure is not going to be a problem. Does that make any sense at all?
Kind of. I'm trying to process it all right now.
If I would have you do like a crunch, that would hurt.
A lot.
A lot. The very first one.
Correct. And I don't think I'd make it through 10 of them.
Okay. But the first one would hurt.
Correct.
Is that right? Okay. Very good. All right. So I'm going to bring this up very gently. What I want you to do is a crunch.
Okay, I'm not feeling anything.
I understand. Just do a crunch.
Is it? I'm not sure. I remember what it is. It crunch where my arms and my legs go up at the same time?
Nope. Just kind of.
I mean, like a sit-up?
Just kind of partial sit-up. I'll tell you when to stop. Stop. Go back down. What'd you feel?
Can I try it again? I don't think I felt anything.
You damn sure didn't feel anything. Just do it again. The camera doesn't lie. Okay, lay back down. I know it's hard to believe. Okay. When you did that, what's the thing that went through your brain? I don't feel anything.
My first thought was the pain's coming. It's going to be coming immediately, and then
it didn't.
It didn't.
Okay. And that's the first time in 18 years?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm doing is I'm stimulating your iliopsoas muscle. Your iliopsoas starts here and ends here. And it's a big, huge muscle that rolls all the way around like that. That's what gives you the flexion and the ability to raise your legs up and things like that. Like running would probably bother you. Okay, not anymore, but it would have bothered you. So I'm going to bring the power up a little bit after I document this. Jay's going to be so excited to hear this. Now, understand, you're doing the equivalent of 200 sit-ups a second right now, and you've been doing it now for 5 minutes. That's 30,000 contractions per minute for the last 5 minutes. That's how many contractions you're doing without moving.
Am I supposed to be feeling something?
No.
Because I don't.
You will shortly. Here we go.
Okay, I'm just starting to feel it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll start right there. Now, do 5 reps. A little bit higher. I love it. Now do a full sit-up. Just come straight up.
Can I put my knees up?
Yeah.
Never done.
Stop. What'd you feel?
Right in here. Nothing. Nothing. I forgot how to do it.
Okay. Notice that the pressure you're putting with your hands normally would hurt you. Is that correct?
Correct.
And when you strained to get the sit-up, you were really putting pressure with the hands. No pain.
0.
I love it. Okay, let's have you stand up. We're done. Now, you're going to have to eat lots of protein.
You're farther ahead of this than I am. I'm trying to process it all right now. It's
hard to.
I'm behind you on the curve on trying to figure out what's happening right now.
Stand up. All that I did is Let me give you an example. If I went over to your house today and I turned off the main power in your house, and you came home at night and you tried to put light bulbs in, would you be successful? The answer is no. I turned your main power on, and now the light bulbs work. Touch your stomach. What's that feel like?
Kind of mushy. I don't have a lot of muscle right there, but other than...
That's the issue. You have not been able, for 18 years, you have not been able to absorb force in your abdominal muscles because none of these muscles were working correctly. None of them. None. Zero. Zip. Now they're working. Now, doesn't mean that they're going to continue to work until, as we go through this process, we're just going to get them stronger and stronger and stronger, and then the problem will be completely gone. And then we'll get you a six-pack.
Is this where do I give you a hug now? Or can
No.
we don't do that yet? We wait till the final...